Nate Burleson, you may remember as one of the all-time great Seahawks, and we're glad you could make it, Nate. Well, also one of the all-time great families in Seattle. Welcome to Sports Star of the Year. Catch us up a little bit on what your off-season has been like and what's ahead for you.
Right now I'm just healing up from an injury. I had a small fracture in my leg during the season, so I'm rehabbing right now here locally. I'm back home. You know, I'm a Northwest kid, so when the season's done, I head right back to Seattle. So I'm being here, and I'm going to be here until I have to go back to Detroit.
And obviously Detroit and the Seahawks met up this year. Yeah. And I think if you ask most Seahawk fans, they are just absolutely galled.
Yeah, but I think that might have been a blessing in disguise for Seattle. You know, because they took a loss from us, and it was probably a game they thought they should have won. Right. And it kind of sparked something inside them, and they went on one hell of a run. And, you know, I was watching it from afar, and I was quite proud of the team that plays in the city that I grew up in.
What was your take on the year of Russell Wilson?
Unbelievable. You know, I love football because of the ability people have to create a character of themselves and be bigger than the game itself. And for me, Russell did that. You know, he was a guy who basically came out of nowhere. Flynn was supposed to be the starter, was paid to be the starter, and Russell grinded, earned his spot, and started to play bigger and bigger and brighter in every game. Right. So I just thought it was unbelievable for a guy that nobody expected much from to really ignite so much into the city.
I just talked to Austin Seferian-Jenkins about something that you can probably speak to more directly, which is how quickly college athletes are transitioning to immediate success in the NFL. Certainly the quarterbacks have stood out. I'm wondering especially from your family history, because you've had a lot of athletic success, why are kids succeeding more quickly now in the NFL?
Honestly, I believe it's the preparation that these kids have before they get to college. I remember when I got to college, you know, I was a little bit more prepared than the average guy coming in. So some of these kids are in high school, and they already been playing sports for 10 years. They've been trained to throw the ball like their favorite quarterback. And then when they get to college, it's just another step. They're just taking small pit stops until they get to the NFL. And then once they get to the NFL, they're basically the place they're supposed to be anyway. So that's why the transition, I think, nowadays is a lot more smoother, because kids are playing sports at an early age and getting trained to play every single sport at 5, 6 years old.
Right. And how different has your dad talked to you about this, about how different it was for him?
Oh, yeah.
I think it was, what, 78?
Oh, yeah. Yep. And, you know, not only just the transition in sports, but the growth of the NFL and football as a whole, medical side of it. I mean, we both had ACLs, and we sit back and compare scars.
Really?
His is like 4 inches longer than mine, a couple inches wider, you know, and he jokes that he got it done with a butter knife. You know, guys are coming back 5, 6 months. You know, Adrian Peterson, who came back from ACL in an unprecedented amount of time. So the game has changed so much on and off the field.
Yeah. And what's your take on the rules changes that are designed supposedly to protect players, but it's taken something out of the game?
You know, I grew up in a football family, so if I didn't grow up in a football family, I probably would be on board with the rules. It's kind of weird coming from an offensive player saying that some of these rules are a bit much, but I like getting hit. You know, I like the fact that a guy can, you know, whack a receiver across the middle just to pump a little fear into him. You know, that's how my dad played. That's the old VHS footage that I watched growing up. So when they try to throw these flags, there's times when I get hit and a flag is thrown, and I'll tap the guy on the butt and say, hey, man, that was a good hit. I wouldn't have threw that flag. I'm not mad at you for that. So, you know, it's tough, man. I know they're trying to protect us. At the same time, it's good old-fashioned football.
Yeah, well, it is a difficult thing because there are so much litigation from retired players, and the NFL has obviously has to cover its backside.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, we understand that. Yeah. But do you think it's really diminished the game?
I don't think it's diminished the game completely. It's getting close, though. You know, people are joking about the NFL turning into flag football, you know, 10, 15 years from now. But, you know, they have to cover themselves, just like you said, you know, with all the lawsuits and all the tragic things that are happening and these former players later years in life. You know, they have to do something now basically to show that they're trying to make efforts to protect us.